Virgo, hello. Welcome to Coffee, Sage, and Tarot. This is going to be your reading for the month of July 2025. I know it's been a hot minute. I apologize. Life got busy, but here we are. So let's get into your reading, okay? Okay. Show me Virgo for the month of July 2025, please. Show me Virgo for July 2025. What is Virgo getting up to in the month of July? Let's see it. Last time. Show me Virgo in July, please. Thank you. Alrighty. Eight of Pentacles. All right. So this feels like you're fast at work here. Really focusing on, what's literally right in front of you here. You're busy, you're focused, and you're doing it. And you are showing up to your reading here, right? This is you, which is really nice to see that you're here and you're present. That's always a win. Alrighty. We've got the Three of Cups, the Queen of Cups, and the Page of Cups. So a lot of cup energy here. I'm wondering if your sign opposite is making a bit of an appearance here with that Pisces energy. Three of Cups, Queen of Cups, Page of Cups. Celebrating something. Feeling good. Queen of Cups, staying within bounds. Page of Cups, I'm curious about. And we will see more. I'm just wondering, when I see the Page of Cups, my spidey senses start to tingle because I'm like, okay, what is this offering? Is this a person? Is this a situation that you're getting into? It's always gives me this idea that something isn't what it seems when that Page of Cups comes into play. But of course, we will dive in and try to figure that out. The Five of Pentacles in the shadow, as well as that Seven of Cups. I'm wondering if you're losing something and you're not really sure why, or you're not sure how to feel around the idea of what it is that you're losing. Something about that, right? Where there's something lost, but either unsure of how we feel or unsure of why this could happen or how this happened. Something along those lines, okay? Again, take what resonates from this, but it looks like overall, Virgo, for the month of July, you're looking like you're really busy with the task at hand. You're focused, which is great. Three of Cups here. There is some sort of celebration, and you are, taking that time to enjoy with your friends, perhaps maybe being a bit more social coming into this month. Queen of Cups, it seems like boundaries are in question. So we'll get in and dive in to see if you're asserting your boundaries. Boundaries are a priority for you, or perhaps the boundaries are lacking, which is why the Queen of Cups is showing up. Either way, we'll get there. Page of Cups, don't like speaking too much on him until we clarify. Typically, as I said, something's up, or there's like a fishy offer that we need to be aware of, or this could be one of those rare instances where the Page of Cups comes and he truly has something nice to present, and what he is presenting is what he, everything is what it seems, right? So let's go ahead and clarify a little bit more here for Virgo. Let's get a little bit more clarifiers for Virgo for July, please. Show me Virgo for July. Just a little bit more clarifiers here for Virgo in July, please. Last time. Thank you. Okay, let us see. All right, so we've got the Two of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, and the Page of Swords here. So balancing out priorities. Maybe this new work is causing you to neglect some things, or, the work that you're doing. I don't mean to say new work, but the work that you're doing is making your priorities out of whack. Like maybe you're spending so much time on this work that you're really not focusing, or perhaps you're neglecting other aspects of your life, right? Which can be the case, and also kind of does make sense in a way because of the amount of cup energy that's here. Typically that does mean we are leaning too far one way. In this case, it would be, perhaps I would caution you, Virgo, to be leaning too far into your emotions, right? We just need to make sure that we are keeping balanced, of course, remaining grounded. And I think of, all of the earth signs, Virgo, you have the capacity, which is absolutely amazing, to go and kind of get your feet off the ground the most out of those earth signs, right? Which is wonderful, that you can have that levity, right? And that it does come so easily to you. That just means that you need to be a little bit more mindful of making sure, oh, okay, my emotions are getting the best of me here. I need to rein it in. I need to ground myself a little bit more, right? So it does kind of feel like that. I'm getting that vibe a little bit, that we're giving too much into one area. And, we need to perhaps that energy, that stamina is kind of running away with us. Oh, we want to do this and we really want to do it to the full extent here and give it all of our passion, all of our drive, give our all to it. And with that Page of Swords coming in, just bringing that knowledge and showing everybody, or showing up and saying, hey, I have this new thing. I want to give it my all, give it my best. The caution there is, the Knight of Wands, he's got all this energy. He does tend to fizzle out quickly. So I just want to make sure that you are pacing yourself, Virgo, through whatever it is that you're doing. And of course, having measured thought, right? And just really kind of keeping, I'm thinking of like the tortoise and the hare. Well, the tortoise makes small, consistent steps, whereas the hare kind of takes off running, but then loses steam and maybe gets distracted along the way, right? So you want to make sure you are showing up and being consistent. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and clarify the rest just to see what we have here, and we'll take each card one at a time and see what the month has ahead. Okay. All right. Just want to make sure you can see them all. So the Three of Cups we have clarified by triple eights. Isn't that curious, eh? So the Three of Cups, it's almost like each cup is representing an 8, right? Which is really cool. I'm going to get the little Rider-Waite guidebook here because I want to see what 3 8s mean. Marriage. Well, how about that? Awesome. So Virgo, yeah, I mean, maybe perhaps some of you are getting married in the month of July. You're celebrating a marriage, or it could be another sort of union, right? A new union for you, which is really lovely. Honestly, if that's not resonating with you, the 8s here, it seems how I was talking, before we did set the clarifiers out, of leaning too far into your emotions or leaning too far one way or the other. We want to keep that balance. Well, this clarifier really is quite balanced, and I'm wondering if this is your goal for July or your goal just in general, right? It seems to be just the signs in general are doing a lot of work internally for the month of July, and your work is your work, but kind of consistent to keeping on that personal inner working journey, which is quite beautiful to see here. So we have the Eight of Swords followed by the Eight of Cups, and then that movement continues with the Eight of Wands, right? What we're missing here is that Eight of Pentacles, which is you, which is up here, which is lovely, right? So with these triple eights, I'm seeing a walking away from ideas or limiting beliefs or anything that no longer serves you. And once you let it go, really using that momentum and using that kind of washing your hands of it and saying, I am so far done with this, right? And that Eight of Wands really propelling that forward and saying, you're leaving what no longer works behind, and you are not looking back, which is really lovely. And that is something to celebrate, right? And perhaps even that social element or, choosing to engage with individuals that you trust, that you can be vulnerable with, that you celebrate, but also celebrate you in the same vein. Perhaps that kind of kinship is allowing you this work or allowing this work to transpire for you, Virgo, okay? Coming into that Queen of Cups here, we have the Ace of Pentacles, the Five of Wands, and the King of Cups. Yeah, so definitely it feels like there is a social component here, or perhaps, a social component here to where engaging in dialogue and debate, there's an opportunity to get to know yourself more. Okay, there's an opportunity here to see these boundaries, or perhaps to enforce these boundaries using your king in a way to say, okay, this matters and I need to give my attention to this. But by this logic and this reasoning, I don't need to engage in this at the moment, right? The king is great for choosing his battles, right? He's not like the knight who will dive headfirst into anything, right? He understands, okay, well, this, particular situation warrants, 10% of my time, whereas this actually will fizzle out on its own. So I don't need to engage in that. And I feel like Virgo, sometimes there is a struggle of giving too much and engaging in too much, that your boundaries aren't kept, right? It's easy to go over that boundary, or perhaps not easy, but it feels warranted or necessary. And it feels like the goal in July is how there's a beautiful opportunity, right, for you in your physical landscape, but also for you internally, right? The Ace of Pentacles, you are an earth sign. So when I see that ace popping up here, it's an opportunity to get back to you, to elevate yourself, or get back to what matters, okay? Thinking foundations here. Either way, and again, take what resonates, but either way, it really does feel like there's an opportunity here to engage in debate, or at least pick and choose your battles from a standpoint of respecting your boundary and making sure that that boundary is at the forefront of the decisions that you make heading into July, right? So again, not overcommitting, and the opposite of that, like not committing at all, or showing up with zero commitment here, but actively picking and choosing where your attention is going, which is quite nice, right? So again, it feels like, we're kind of lost in the sauce a little bit. How do we course correct throughout the month of July in order to make sure that we are letting go of habits and things that really don't resonate or don't allow us to pursue our path further and, in earnest? How do we release the things that are holding us back? And how do we maintain a solid boundary that will keep us safe, keep those around us safe, and make sure that you're respecting yourself, right? And respecting what you have put in place to protect you, right? Because of the desire to help everyone, right? You have to help yourself first. Coming into this Page of Cups here, we have the Three of Pentacles, the Chariot, and the Page of Wands. Then we have that. Yeah. Okay. Um, okay. So the Three of Pentacles, the Chariot, the Page of Wands. This feels like cautiously engaging in something new. And if it is not something new, then it is engaging in your physical landscape in a new way. And what I mean by that is engaging from a point of asserting your boundaries. Okay, and making sure that those boundaries come into play while you are enforcing, I can only give this much to this particular situation, and then my help needs to stop. I can only give this much support to this person who I know is having a really hard time before my energy starts to drain. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of level of awareness, but also level of accountability, right? Holding yourself accountable to the rules and the boundaries that you have put in place for the betterment of you. And that's what I'm seeing with this Page of Cups here. So it's interesting. He's not as he's not as bad as I made him out to be on the outset here. He really is I think he's presenting this way because enforcing boundaries is hard, and would make anyone a little weary when they're really trying to put this work into play. It's a little bit fishy, right? It's a little bit hard to navigate. It's a little bit like given the ick because we're not masters at it yet, right? But we know where we stand and how much we can give and commit. But it's like, I gotta say no. I'm sorry. Like, it's hard to navigate those boundaries sometimes. But Queen of Cups, rather, at the heart of your reading, we're knowing that this is a necessary step in your journey that needs to be followed through on. Okay, so with that Three of Pentacles, the Chariot, and the Page of Wands here, yeah, like how I went to like the tortoise and the hare, we are trying not to fizzle out with that Chariot energy. We're trying to keep it consistent, slow, attainable steps that we can do every single day, day in, day out, that you can do and you can drive yourself, and also hold yourself accountable to, so that when you go to sleep at night, you're like, you know what, I did a pretty bang up job on holding my line. It was tough, but I asserted my boundary and I feel good and I feel whole knowing that as I lay my head and go to sleep at night, right? That kind of feeling there, that pride that you get in knowing that you're doing something, and you're doing it, right? Page of Wands, yeah, like this new burst of like this new kind of passion, or I don't want to say passion, but it's like we're doing this in a new way. You're looking out at your landscape, and like I said, if it's a new thing that you're investing into, a new partnership, a new job, a new opportunity, a new side hustle, or it just could be you looking at your landscape from this new perspective, there is this excitement about it. But again, it's not the night, right? You're not quick out the gates and then fizzling slowly. Or fizzling fast, sorry. It's rather consistent effort, and we are measuring out the amount of passion and excitement and energy we are giving to this work here. Knight of Pentacles in the shadow, along with the World and the Seven of Wands. It feels, yeah, with that World popping up, the Knight of Pentacles, there's a sense of knowing what is happening here, addressing that some things need to fall off, and maybe unsure, as I said at the outset here, we're losing some things, not sure why or how it fits into the bigger picture, but ultimately you're looking out and you're saying, okay, this is what I want. I want X. I want to stop Y, right? And so looking out to the world, you're seeing the potential of what life has to offer. And I think more importantly, Virgo, what you have to offer yourself, which is really quite special. With that that 7 of Wands here, I'm wondering if you're resistant. Part of you, there's something blocking the wheel coming through, which is to say, like, you can't stop things from happening. You also can't stop karma. You can't get in the middle of that. I'm wondering if this is you trying to, or like old habits, say, trying to fix things or lay your hands on something in hope that it will or won't happen. Try to influence. I'm wondering if this is your way of, like, an old pattern trying to influence what happens next. But I also think there's, on some level, either you're just starting to realize this or you will shortly, that your hands can only influence what your hands can control. And anything outside of that and beyond that is not up to you. And so this feels very frivolous, this 7 of Wands, kind of coming in between these two major cards. And I think you know that. Or at least, like I said, you're coming to that realization. And then we do go full circle back to that 8 of Pentacles, right? Which is right up there. So really lovely work that you're doing, Virgo. Let's take a look and see. Let's get some more for Virgo, please. Let's get some more for Virgo. These cards are a little slippy, so I apologize. Last time, let's get some more information here for Virgo for July, please. Thank you. Okay. 6 of Pentacles. That's nice. I'm really happy to see that. Choosing, that's awesome, because it's like you have this abundance within you. You have a lot to give, right? And it's almost this idea of knowing where to give to others, to situations, but also where to give to yourself. And that level of awareness is not easy. The 6 of Pentacles is not, I mean, it's simple, right? But it's difficult in execution. And so I think to have that level of awareness of, I'm going to give this and this, but I'm going to keep this, is really quite lovely, just considering the breakdown of what the cards have to share with you, Virgo, for the month of July. So seeing that really makes my heart happy for you here. Okay. We're just going to put that up. 5 of Pentacles. So that 5 is jumping out of the shadow and into here. So, you know, like I said here on the outset, the 888s do represent some sort of marriage according to Rider-Waite. As I mentioned, it could be some sort of union or something that you are celebrating. With that 5 of Pentacles here, I initially thought you were losing something. That still could be the case. Okay, take what resonates. But I'm wondering if it's the choice to walk away from something that propels that movement and that transition for you. I'm wondering. Okay. Still celebratory, almost bittersweet is what I'm sensing. Alrighty. With the high priestess here, just taking everything that that Queen of Cups has to offer of asserting boundary, knowing what's in her cup, knowing what she has to give, knowing what she has to keep, knowing that she can be soft and gentle and kind, but also the enforcer, right? So everything that that Queen of Cups has to give, but then taking it to a higher level, a higher vibration, Virgo, with that high priestess and saying, I have trust in myself, and I might not have to know the thing to put a formula to something or words to something for it to have meaning, value, or for me to have it carry weight, right? Ultimately, this trust in yourself, trust in your inner knowing, trusting your intuition, and trusting that you have what it takes to assert these boundaries and to do this work, right? And that doesn't take away from you to say no to people or no to experiences or no to situations. It actually takes great strength, right? It's not a weakness to say no, it's a strength. And ultimately, when we choose or when we are able to say no to things that we don't want to do, we end up giving more to the things that we want to do. Okay. And so the high priestess does speak on that, and it feels really just affirming of Virgo, trust yourself. Virgo, trust the process. Trust that you're doing the right thing for you, and you will be okay. Knight of Wands showing up. So the knight here. Um, that's funny. Just in all this talk of the knight, fizzling out here, or going quickly and fizzling quickly. But if you look here at this knight, right, he's seated. The imagery is him holding that wand or holding that staff, and he's, kind of clutching there, ready to go, ready to travel, right? Ready to engage in his passions, but he's still seated. And I think that is beautiful imagery. That is kind of the knight that you want to see, which is nice, as opposed to this knight, right, where he is full in action, he is charging ahead, it does not matter, right? Whereas this feels like a more measured approach, which seems to be the direction, Virgo, that you are trying to go to. You are heading in that way, right? He is still, so is that Knight of Pentacles, so there's more alignment there, there's more thought there, which I feel to be the overall theme for you for July. Okay. Four of Swords. Yeah. Quieting that mind, right? Almost this idea, Nine of Cups. Yeah. Feeling good in your skin, under your skin, right? Not allowing that doubt to creep up. That doubt, those limiting beliefs, all of those are kind of, you're shedding that throughout this month, Virgo. You're letting that go. You're releasing part of you, that part of you, back to the universe, it feels, right? And you're choosing with that Six of Pentacles, I'm going to give to this, and then this to me, and then this to this situation, and this to me, right? And so the giving doesn't stop. It just becomes more focused, right? And more intentional in terms of where you're giving and to who, and you're including yourself in that equation. And with that Four of Swords, yeah, it really doesn't, it leaves little room for doubt, because this is so intentional, the work that you're doing here. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is really, truly lovely. This is awesome. Let me know about this Five of Pentacles in the comments here. Is this something that you are choosing to walk away from? Or is this kind of spurred from this happened, but this made a beautiful opportunity for you to learn something from, losing something? So let me know. I'm very curious, and I'm always grateful for you stopping by to gain a little bit more insight into your July. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you, Virgo. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best for July and beyond, and we'll see you next time. You take care.